We're teaching our younger generation to be a bunch of softies. Stick around a few seconds. I'll show you what I'm talking about. What is up, college sports fans, fellow members of Mountaineer Nation? This is Coos. Welcome to another edition of Coos' Corner, your go-to channel for college sports with a heavy dose of West Virginia Mountaineers. Before I get into today's video, I want to ask that you please press that red subscribe button. Also, please press that thumbs up button underneath the video too. Both of those things really help me out and help me grow my channel. What I want to talk about today, there's a couple incidents that happened in college football in the past week that really made me think about the younger generation and how our society today is making them soft. The first one is at the University of Washington. The University of Washington Huskies coach, I think his name is Jimmy Lake, was suspended for a game for supposedly hitting a player and shoving him. But if you watch the video, which I'm going to show you right here, I'm going to show you the video, then I'm going to give you my opinion. Here it is. Alright, now that you've had a chance to watch that video, I want you to leave a comment what you think about it. Do you think that was too much? Should he have been suspended for that? Now I'm going to give you my opinion. He hit him with paper in the head. College football players, any football player, they basically sign up to have a collision on pretty much every snap. 70 to 80 collisions, sometimes 90 collisions a game. That's basically what it is. When you got two human beings that weigh approximately 200 pounds running full speed hitting each other, it's basically like a collision. It's like a car wreck almost. They sign up for that, and that's okay. We all enjoy watching it. It's they enjoy doing it. It's their right, their freedom. It's fun. They enjoy whatever. They can make a living at it. Some of them. And we're going to suspend a coach for hitting him in the head with a helmet on, with paper, and shoving him in the back a little bit when he has shoulder pads on. The guy probably just came off. He came off the field. He almost got in a fight. This is the reason his coach got mad at him in the first place. So the coach hits him in the helmet. Okay, a helmet with a hard shell and padding inside, with paper, and shoves him. Didn't look like it was hard or malicious. Now, is that really going to hurt the kid who voluntarily had a collision?
Come on, man.
Multiple collisions at that. In a game. It's football. It's a rough sport. If you can't take a little bit of butt chewing, a smack on the helmet every now and again, and I don't mean hit hard, but a smack on the helmet, you don't need to be playing. And it probably ain't even the kid who got mad. It's because it ended up on TV. Here's a second incident that happened with a coach this week. The defensive line coach at Texas was chewing out his team on the bus after the game, after they got their butts absolutely handed to them by Iowa State. Was chewing them out on the bus because they were laughing and goofing off. Apparently losing didn't bother him too much, and he didn't like it. Now, this is the edited version of this video because I'm trying to keep it clean, and YouTube might not like it if I put the real one on there. But if you want to hear the one that's not edited, it's all over Twitter and all over the internet. Go look for it. But out of respect for my viewers and because YouTube might dock me if I don't, this is the edited version. Take a listen and then tell me underneath what you think.
Get the f*** off of this bus! I got my ass kicked! And you wanna laugh? Real! You think it's a joke?
So let me know in the comments what you thought about that. Do you think that's inappropriate for a college football coach to do that? And now I'm gonna give you my opinion. Now I will never condone vulgar language, okay? I'm not some goody two-shoes. I let words slip myself every now and again, but I'm not going to come on here and condone vulgar language. I'm not saying it's the right thing to do. However, this is football. It's a rough sport. They're trying to make grown men out of these young men. And sometimes they got to give them a little bit of a motivation. And the sport of football, there is a culture where foul language is pretty much common and pretty much commonplace. It is what it is. If you get offended by it, you probably shouldn't play football, to be honest with you. I wasn't good enough to play football at the college level, but I did play through high school. We had coaches get in our face. I've been called the P word by an assistant coach. We've had coaches grab players by the shoulder pad and lift them off the ground while they're chewing their butts out. Matter of fact, we had one coach. He wasn't my position coach, but I watched him walk across the field. A guy was walking between drills. He walks across the field, grabs the boy by the shoulder pads, lifts him off the ground and shakes him and says, "What are you doing walking on my field, boy?" That was the most respected coach on that team. There wasn't a player on that team that wouldn't have run through a brick wall for that coach. We loved him. You know why? Because he held people accountable. He loved us players. Would have done anything for us. But he was also going to hold us accountable, and he was going to teach us to be men. That's what football coaches do. And anybody that had a problem with that coach chewing those boys out like that, you don't understand football and you don't understand the culture. And for the player who videoed it, I hope he gets punished harshly, because that kind of stuff should not leave the locker room. What goes on in a locker room, on a bus, between players, coaches, is sacred and needs to stay there. It's a brotherhood. And he violated that brotherhood by releasing that video. Now, if the guy was doing something abusive, illegal, that's different. Okay, I'm not talking about that. But that was not abusive. That was a coach holding his players accountable. Keep in mind, that coach makes a living coaching football. That's how he feeds his family. So when those boys are laughing and goofing off because they lose, and after they lose a game like that and don't seem to care, he has every right to chew them out and do what he did, because they are impacting his family. Now, that incident with the Texas coach, it looks to me like from reading online, the majority of the people seem to be okay with that, actually. I think anybody who's been around the game of football understands the culture and knows that that's acceptable and it's part of the culture. What isn't is releasing video. But from what I read, there are a few people out there who were upset about it and thought it was inappropriate. I understand people get offended by bad language. I'm not saying I condone it, but it is part of the culture in football, and it's something that if you play the game of football and around the game of football, it's going to happen. So you've got to be able to deal with it. You can't get offended easily if you play football. It's just it. Because if you can't handle a coach yelling at you and cussing at you, how are you going to handle life? Really, life is going to kick you in the teeth. Then it's going to pick the teeth up. You're going to get them back in. It's going to kick them out again. That's what life does to you. And these football coaches are teaching these young men how to handle life. Life's a lot harder than getting yelled at on a charter bus. So anyway, listen. Hope you guys like the video. If you like my content, give me that thumbs up button. If you don't, give me the thumbs down button. I appreciate you tuning in. Until next time.